Hi guys. So I know this probably wasn't the video one of the videos you expected, but I just finished watching the Timelash, which was, which funny enough, I watched the episode reviewed the episode that came after it, Revolution of the Daleks. However, uh, this episode, I actually don't know really what to say about it. I mean, the plot, it seemed a lot like the plot of Vengeance on Varos, but with a slightly different storyline. Like, sure, there's no prison like there was in this episode, but they basically lived under a dictatorship, which was basically the same thing. And there was also very similar elements to both stories, and there was even a similarity to Hugo with Hubert in the story than there was in the Twin Dilemma. And granted, I am aware that, and it's been said that this is one of the better Sixth Doctor episodes, and honestly, I kind of agree with it. I just finished watching it, and, like, granted, like, I said before, 6 is basically just 12 done right, and I stand by that. Only, like, and, yeah, Clara did have her times of, arguing with, 12, like 6 does with Perry, but they grow comfortable with each other over time. So that's another thing that the two have in common, that the two sets of Doctor Companion teams have in common, and like with the, I can actually say at this point, Perry and the Doctor seem to have a really good dynamic leading into the next step, leading into the season finale, which, like, that's the best thing that you can do, to have like a season go by where the Companion and the Doctor have a really good dynamic with each other, which is something I can't say with 11 and Clara, or maybe, or Martha and the Doctor, Martha and 10, because unfortunately, like, I wish Martha Jones had a better storyline than she got. And whilst yes, Perry does her best as a companion, she seems to be the Doctor's equal in a way. Like, sure, she was a little lackluster in this, but then again, that's because she was basically incapacitated the entire time. However, at least she's not almost blatantly useless as she is in this episode. Like, this episode, like I've said before, I do not care for the Mark of Lorani, and like I've heard a lot of people who actually don't favor it. I mean, it's a good story, but this, like I said before, the plan in that episode was dumb. Meanwhile, the plan and execution of this episode, whilst I already said, it is a lot like Vengeance on Varos, there are a good number of differences. Like, there's a better revolution that happens with this episode compared to the other one, because unlike with the other one, the person who's leading the revolution doesn't get caught in the beginning. And like, it's not the Doctor actually takes down the villain instead of, just, now you see me. And also, the person who plays the Borad, him, it's the same problem that the person who plays the person who played him in the Twin Dilemma. Like, it's obvious that the person, like, the mask is like this on his face, and it makes it really hard for him to perform out of. And especially considering it looks like there's a lack of budget when it came to the mask. like, I am very much aware of, by watching it, how lack of budget the series had, especially the classic series had, and it's a shame, because had they had any of what, like I said before, what the modern series has, they could do so much more with the stories. And I also saw that they used sort of a so they sort of reused what the little dinosaur puppet they used for Mark of the Ranahi. And it actually looks better here, because it's actually put to a better use in the plot and not just a throwaway line for the end of the episode. And I can actually see that Colin Baker loves what he's doing. Loved what he's doing in the show, in this episode, and actually all of them, because he gives 110%. Like, say what you will about his doctor, but Colin, as a performer, is really good. Like, he excels in every scene he's in. Like, I've heard from other stories that in the later years, Tom Baker didn't do the same, because, well, I've heard from Clever Dick Films, who does the Doctor Who reviews, which is like an ongoing series talking about each era of the show, and Tom Baker actually was one of the longest running Doctors, and he actually said he regretted not leaving when Terrence Dicks and all the other ones did. As he went on, his issue with the creatives just got even more ugly. It's kind of funny, though. I kind of heard that something similar happened with a certain leather-jacketed certain Doctor. Funny how stuff repeats itself, doesn't it? Anyways, that's basically all I had to say. Like, this episode, it's a good episode, and if you're wondering why I keep looking back, I'm actually about to watch the episode's commentary, and actually I love watching commentaries. Like, you get the inside information of what happens what happened to make the episode. And I was a little disappointed that they didn't have Colin come back and do this one, because they only had Nicola Bryant, who, again, I love. Nicola Bryant is a good actress, and arguably she's one of the companions of the classic era I have seen. She's a really good companion. And granted, that's only from me seeing Liz Shaw, a bit of Joe Grant, Ian and Barbara, as well as Susan. And so yeah, that's all I have. It's a good episode, and I'm just missing one episode, and then I'll have the entire first season of Colin Baker. You're probably wondering why I'm only saying one if you know the classic era. The reason why I say one is I'm refusing to watch the two Doctors. Mainly because, from what I've heard of it, it's not that good of a story. Even though it was one of the last works of Patrick Troughton, who is the second Doctor. Oh, and speaking of the second Doctor, if I do eventually sit down and fully watch all 6, I think, parts of this episode, all 6 episodes, I was right. I will sit down and talk about this eventually, but considering like how long it is, that's a bit of a hassle. However, I'll do it eventually. Anyways, thanks you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, click like and subscribe, and I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.